guys have read all the books. And look at you now. What good has it got you? You've listened to all the podcasts. With the greatest respect, I didn't know one single speaker on the agenda for this event. Doesn't mean they're not great guys. Doesn't mean they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I never heard any of them. See, you've been deluded, bullshitted into believing that reading is taking action. You've been deluded into believing that listening to a podcast is taking action. It's not. The only thing that's taking action is pulling the motherfucking trigger. Take fucking action. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into the lazy habit of thinking. Einstein only wanted you to take action. Now, how come nobody else says this? Happens to be true. How many of you went to the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday? Nobody. I asked a question. Nobody ever. Some of my mentees did. And during his speech, and at the end, the last 2 hours, he's pitching for money. The Dalai. And his last two sentences, which I think are going to come up in a few slides, meditation is terrific. Prayer is terrific. And he names 2 or 3 other things, but taking action is the only thing that gets anything done. Some of you in this room meditate. I feel sorry for you. I've not meditated 1 microsecond my whole life. One of my favorites, Nick, arguably the greatest tennis coach of all time, can't play tennis. Now, this is really, I should just stop the seminar now. I'm going to say it again real slow for the Goombas, for the Pole meatheads, for the Bulgarian bullshitters, for the greatest tennis coach of all motherfucking time, with 180 or 190, now he's got 190 some championships under his belt, and he can't play fucking tennis. And you, not you, but since you're here, you all want to know why. Right? You spent most of your lives looking for the why, the big question mark. So Nick didn't, and I tried to get Nick here. About 2.5 years ago, I got him on the phone, not dissimilar to W. Clement Stone, when I tried to do something with him back in the early 2000s before he died. And Nick's old. I'm not suggesting he's going to die or anything, but he's a cantankerous old bastard. And we were going to set up an appointment at the U.S. Tennis Open in New York City, and I was going to meet him. And but he doesn't know. He doesn't know those mechanics. He doesn't know, and he certainly hasn't ever won anything. Why is it you want to know? But why is it so important, not just to you, but to the people they want to know? They want to know, they want to drill down. They want to know, they want to drill down, but yet 93 or 94%, and may have changed, of the people that use Google, and I do, Google, never get past the first page. So how much do you really want to know? If we had an average person that comes to the seminar, and there are no average because you're all different, but if there was an average, he's the opposite 180 degrees. And he's the most successful tennis coach of all time. So what does that make you? Or more importantly, where does that put you? Remember I told you don't have to know anything. One of the little clips I have on YouTube is you don't have to know anything to be a billionaire. Now, the title is to catch people's attention because it's not exactly 100% accurate. You got to know something, but almost nothing. Yet you want to know everything. You've heard the people talk, and so far, how much time did you put in researching where you want to do vis-a-vis QLA? Nothing, 15 minutes. Mr. Peña said so, Mr. Peña said so, Mr. Peña said so, that's it. Right? But you in this fucking room, I will bet my fucking dick, are going to do, at least some of you, a lot of research. And you can equate the more research you do with your insecurity. You can equate the more research you do with your lack of self-esteem. You can equate the more research you do with your lack of self-confidence. Some of you have already done research. Remember timing. You operate in a cyclical economy and market. Try to sell into an upwave. Now, I used to say this, and I'm going to say it again. If you're 40 years old or older, now I know some of that's on the borderline for a couple of you in here, because we got guys in a few in the late 30s, but mostly in the early 30s, late 20s, and teens in here. If you're 40 years old or older and you're in an up market like now, sell. I don't give a fuck what industry. I don't give a fuck what business. I don't give a fuck what vertical you're in. Hit the bid, as they say, meaning there's a bid and an ask. Don't ask, just hit the fucking bid, because you may never see it this good again. And at 40, you still have plenty of time to do it again. Hit the fucking bid. Whether you're an insurance peddler, a virtual one like some of you, or a eyeball to eyeball one like others of you in here. When I was selling insurance door to door, it wasn't something that we used to brag about. When I used to see the sun come up in that kitchen, glittering off the teapots when the sun came up. But it was where I learned my sales skills. People in general, they think that reading a book is taking action. They think listening to a podcast is taking action. They think a video or whatever it is taking action. No! That's fucking procrastination. So you don't have to make a decision. So you don't have to pull the trigger. I mean, there's a big, huge difference. Take action. As you were taught, just fucking do it. I mean, Dalai Lama had his 80th birthday last year. Some of my mentees were invited. I wasn't. The Dalai, he doesn't know me, or maybe he does know me, but he didn't invite me. In his closing remarks, and it's one of the slides that you got, it's that praying is fine, meditation is fine, a bunch of other shit is fine, but it's take action, take action, take action that is the only thing that counts. It's the fucking Dalai. Saint Teresa, who I put my money on when she was just a goddamn Mother Teresa, same thing. Take action, take action, take action. All the rest is bullshit. You can pray, you can do all those things, but take action is the thing that differentiates you from everybody else. You're sitting here because of something that happened to you in your life. That wasn't a good thing. You don't seek out professionals like him if your life was good. You seek out professionals like him because you're a cunt. And you don't want to be a cunt anymore. I eat people like you for fucking breakfast. And the guys that I know, I mean, some of them, they say they can eat me for breakfast, which is bullshit, but they think they can eat me for breakfast. The answer, and as I've said countless times, the reason why you read all this stuff and you do the podcast and all this stuff, I've said it, until I'm sick to my fucking stomach, is that because that way you don't have to take action. And you don't have to take action. Well, reading, you pretend yourself, and the YouTube kids pretend to themselves, alleviates the idea that you're failing. And if you pull the trigger and you fail for real. If you read something and it talks about failure, or it talks about leadership, or it talks about whatever, I mean, it's not taking an action, so you equate it not to failure. It's like you can read all the books on martial arts you want. And until you step in the ring, as Michael Tyson in his infinite wisdom said, everybody's got a fucking plan till I hit him in the face. Well, and as I've said, again, here at least 5 times, I have never in 46 years of life seen a business plan that failed. I've never seen a business plan that failed. I told Brian Rose when we first interview I did in 2014, and he released it on Easter Sunday. Other than I told him I was going to change his life, I said, you have no idea when you're not afraid how it opens up so many millions of vistas. It's like, it's supposed to be billions of universes or bullshit like that, trillions of stars. I mean, when you truly aren't afraid, the options that are open. Guys, I mean, it's a good thing I have a strong heart. But I mean, some of the things that I hear them say and write would stop a strong man. It would stop Hercules' heart. And that's why it's so easy. Yet, and I'm not telling this to put shit on. Some of you are going to falter in the beginning. I mean, in fact, most of you will. The best one of you in this room is going to falter. The best one that's ever sat in this fucking room is going to falter.
For those of you that have done courses, read books, podcasts, it's on the left-hand side. But you've never connected the dots. You've never found anybody that never taught you how to connect the dots. And that's why, see, you've been told reading a book, going to a seminar, listening to a podcast is taking action. It's not. It's procrastination, so you don't have to take action. It's procrastination, so you don't pull the trigger. There's only one form of taking action, that's pulling the trigger, and that's actually doing it. The Dalai Lama, at his 80th birthday, I was not invited. Some of my mentees were invited. At the end of the speech, he says, you can pray, you can meditate, you can do this, you can do that, but taking action, action, action is the only thing that you can get final results. All the rest is mental masturbation.